Okay, well, it's football weather. It was 47 degrees this morning. We got college football this weekend, week 0. We're going to start off with Florida State Seminoles, Georgia Tech. Is the Yellow Jackets? Is that their, yeah.
The Rambling Blackbird. Yeah, I think they're
the Jackets out there in Ireland. I'm going to pick that game. I'm picking all Florida State games this year. The line is 10.5. I love it at 10.5. I think Florida State, I would pick them. I think they're going to win by at least 2 touchdowns. It was 11.5. We were actually going to put it up there as 11.5.
Right.
It moved to 10.5. We saw it just today, so we wanted to give you guys the freshest information. And I agree. Minnesota Seminoles. Scott from Minnesota, the Seminoles fan, says hoping FSU humiliates Georgia Tech, make the ACC beg us to leave. And Big Mama says FSU got that. I agree. I expect them to win by 2 touchdowns. I thought about making a lock, but I'm not quite there. It's the first game of the season. Learned my lesson last year with Florida State and LSU. That was kind of a weird game at the beginning of the year. So I'm just going to take the straight-up pick, Florida State minus 10.5. I love it all day, every day, and twice on Saturday.
Okay, and I got to say, I've learned some lessons on the ice cold locks, especially early last year. You and I came out of the gates hot, and we got burnt pretty early. By some of the out-of-conference games. You know, we're Big Ten Mountain West, and we went ice-cold locking on some of this out-of-conference stuff. I think it made us rethink a little bit of when we throw some of them out. So I get it. It's your pick, and you know you're going to be picking all the FSU games. I also like FSU to cover here a lot. But as I said, we have a very special guest to pick this game as well. So with that, we are going to throw a video up of a guest. You guys know that we have some guests on every so often. You've seen this guy before on the Big Mountain. Here he is with his FSU pick.
This is Doug Rohan of Rohan Law. The guys at the Big Mountain asked me to come on with you to give my score prediction of the Florida State game as I'm sitting here in the town of Blarney on our tour of Ireland before going to Dublin on Saturday. My score prediction for Florida State is 38-10. I truly believe that by the end of the season, these will be one of the best defenses in the country, certainly top 5. And I have faith in Coach Norvell building up DJ Uyunglele to make sure that he is put in the right positions to succeed. But truthfully, the running game is going to be the key. That's going to be the strength of the offense all year long. So I see us putting up some offensive numbers in the 30s with our defense being able to hold a potent Georgia Tech offense to 10 points. So that's our score prediction from Blarney in Ireland. Go Noles, and let's see what happens on Saturday.
Awesome. Well, great having Doug on. He's having tons of fun in Ireland. I've been following him on Twitter. I saw him in front of, what is it called, Blarney Castle?
Blarney Castle.
Yeah, this morning. The pictures look great. I think it's raining. It was raining a little bit tonight, so maybe he didn't get to, but just looks like he's having a great time. He's going to the rugby match.
Yes, I saw that.
Florida State's taking their rugby team over there and playing a local school, a local college over there. So Doug's having a great time. He's living his best life like all those Seminoles fans, and it was great having him on here.
Yeah, I'm really glad he sent us a video. I asked him if he would give us a pick. And he said, better yet, I'll send you guys a video. So he did that there. Looks like they're having a fantastic time. I know he's drinking plenty of that Guinness. I am very jealous of all the pubs that he is getting to and all the sightseeing that he's doing. He's there for the whole week with his whole family. I wish him well, and just fantastic he was able to give us a video. And he's high. He would probably ice cold lock. I don't know if he knows that we do that yet, but you heard him, 38-10. That's about, if that's not a ice cold lock, I don't know what is.
Yeah, I don't blame him. He's maybe a little more confident than I am, but I agree. I don't think this game's going to be close.
All right, so now we're moving to my picks. I have 3 picks to make.
Okay.
I have 3 Mountain West games, definitely rigged. I'll just laugh.
Yeah.
So 3 Mountain West games that I'm going to pick. The first one is the Montana State versus New Mexico game. Then I've got the SMU at Nevada game. That game I picked several weeks ago, but I'm still going to talk about it. And then I have the Delaware State at Hawaii game. Yikes. So let's get to the first one. Montana State versus New Mexico, an FCS school versus an FBS school. Right now in the coaches poll for FCS, Montana State is ranked 4th in the FCS. So absolutely, even outside of being ranked 4th, one of the best FCS schools. And they're going against, unfortunately, a Lobos team here that's, just getting their feet under them with their new coach. Just, I really don't know what to expect. I don't expect much out of them. So
I have a proposal.
you have a proposal.
How about we make this a relegation game? And
I don't think that's a good idea.
If New Mexico, if the Lobos lose, they get kicked out of the Mountain West, and we get Montana State.
Well, for those that are Mountain West fans, we did an episode a little while back that talked about potential candidates for a Mountain West expansion, and we liked both of the Montana schools.
Yep.
And I actually picked, if I had to pick one of the Montana schools, I took Montana State over Montana. Now, I think they'd want to come together, but anyway, you can check that video out. So anyway, this is the biggest point spread. 11.5 points is where it's at. The biggest point spread since 2013, which was Old Dominion versus Idaho, and that's when Old Dominion was moving up. So that's not even really, it was FBS, FCS, but a little bit different. Unfortunately here, Montana State has a really, really, really good running game, and the Lobos are not going to have much of a run defense. I think the Cats are in store for a really big game. Yes, they're going down to New Mexico, but I'm taking Montana State at minus 11.5. I'm sorry, Mountain West. I'm sorry, Lobos fans. I've got to go with Montana State. I just think their offense is gonna wreak havoc for the Lobos. So I'm going with the FCS school team here, Steve. I got to do it.
I don't blame you. And I mean, Josh, our Utah State fan, Josh, he mentioned, he talks about Bronco Mendenhall. He doesn't like Bronco, but he thinks he'll be ready for Montana State.
Yeah.
But the thing, I mean, that's a lot to ask in this very first game. So much turnover with this roster. And Montana State, I mean, like you said, they're one of the top FCS schools. They're firing on all cylinders. They know who they are, and they do it really, really well.
Yes.
And I'm not sure that the Lobos know who they are yet.
They have no idea
if they do
who
anything
they are.
well yet. So
great point. And so I've got, I know I've got 3 Mountain West fans that are chatting here, and I've got Gilbert and Clint that say that Montana's going to wipe the floor with them. And I've got Josh saying, hey, Bronco will have New Mexico ready. So we'll see. I think he'll have them ready, but there's only so much he can do in the amount of time that he has had and all the different players that they now have. Yeah. It's the safest bet at 11.5 to go with Montana State. So that's who I'm picking. So we're going to switch to SMU at Nevada. Anybody that saw my preview show, I have Nevada at the bottom of the Mountain West. I really think they're going to struggle against an SMU team that I have also taken to be over their win total for the year. So I've got a team that I'm really high on, not within the Mountain West Conference, and a team that I have really struggling within the Mountain West Conference. Like we've said many a time, we take our homer hats off when we do our picks for both conferences and teams, and we try to give you guys, what we think is the correct pick here. The line right now is 24.5. I took it about a month ago at 23.5. It got all the way up to 27.5. So it's been moving around fairly well. But when I took it a while back, it's been the best line that you could have had since I took that. So I'm going to keep it at 23.5. It's either at 24 or 25.5. It's several points above where I took them. I'm very comfortable with my 23.5. SMU has an elite defense. I just don't see the Wolfpack being able to score much here. Their team total is 16.5. I see a lot of people on the boat that they're probably not going to be over that. I think the only way they are is if they get junk points. And that's why I don't like low team totals because, yes, as a whole, if both number one offense and defense played the entire game, they shouldn't score 17 points. But when you get into the second half, fourth quarter, there's junk time. Yep. They can easily score a touchdown and blow that. So I don't want to touch that over-under on the point total here for Nevada. But they should struggle to get to 17 points. And I just said how elite the SMU defense is. Their offense is really freaking good, too. They are going to score points. They're very powerful. I don't think they let off the gas. I think they just roll through them here. Very one-sided. I took SMU long ago. I stick with them at where I took them. And you can, it's a couple points ahead. Go with SMU here. I'm sorry, Wolfpack, but just completely outmatched in this game.
Yeah, this is a tough matchup for Nevada. They have a new coach this year, correct?
Yes.
Yeah.
Again,
whoever the new coach is probably thinking, why the heck did they schedule us this game? You have an SMU team moving up to the ACC, a really good team last year. Looks like they should still be really good again this year. And Nevada team that's struggling. I listened to a couple different national podcasts that did breakdowns of Mountain West. I was listening to the Mountain West breakdowns that they did, and each one of them talked about Nevada having injury issues through fall camp, that maybe they've got a few players they're hoping to get back, but they've had injury issues. They're already going to struggle. Yep. And I think this is just a bad timing to play SMU.
Well, our commenters are running the table with SMU. Got that all day, easily taken that. I mean, gonna flex. Everybody's on that boat. And yeah, like I said, it's come down from 27.5 a couple weeks, maybe even 2 weeks ago. It was all the way up to 27.5, so it has come down a few points. I mean, I think anything under those 4 touchdowns, you gotta like this. I'm not ice cold locking it. But I really like this here for SMU, and I agree with John. I'm kind of with you. Easily could be the second team in the ACC. I know you're high on NC State. I know a lot of Clemson fans would say, "What the hell are you talking about?" Miami's getting some love for some people, but I totally agree. I think SMU is going to be the surprise team. I'm over them on 6.5 wins this year. And I think it now has moved up to 7.5 from last week, if I remember. When I took them, it was 6.5. I think they're now at 7.5. I like them at both, but lots of quality, lots of value with this SMU team this year. This is a team, I know I'm picking them because they're playing Nevada. I'm going to watch this team and probably pick them more times over the course of the season.
SMU, high upside, high ceiling. I think they're going to catch some ACC teams by surprise. It's very, other than maybe the top 3 or 4 teams in the ACC, SMU probably has more talent than any of those. These other ACC teams are sitting here saying, "Oh, we're a Power 4 team," whatever. We're a real Power 4 team. You guys are just coming up here. You're visiting or whatever.
Right.
You're the newcomers. Yeah. Right. Well, I have a feeling they're going to go in and not just surprise, but bite some ACC teams in their ACC.
Absolutely. Oh, you're so funny, Steve. You're witty. The college football guy, Bill here, he parlays this really well into me. He says, as good as SMU is, Hawaii might score more on Saturday. Well, let's talk about that game. Yeah. Because I don't disagree with you, that college football guy. I think they will score more. Delaware State traveling to Hawaii. Remember, this was supposed to be the Oregon Ducks playing this game. They backed out in February. And so there was very little time for them to pick up another game here. So they get Delaware State, the Hornets. This team, and I don't mean to crap on them, they were 1-10 last year, Steve. Yeah. 1-10. They lost 57-0 to Army, not really known as an offensive powerhouse. And they also lost by 42 to Miami of Ohio. Now, Miami's a very solid team. Don't get me wrong. Miami's a solid team. But, man, 42 points and 57 points to Miami and to Army. And Hawaii has a very good offense. So the line here is 38.5. I am just all over Hawaii here. I mean, I don't see Delaware State scoring much at all. Again, that garbage time, you never know what might happen. But, I mean, Hawaii's going to be at least in the 50s. I don't see any reason they're not scoring 50 points in this game. I don't think Delaware State gets into double digits. I don't know how they do with points. And yes, Clint, thank you. I was going to mention that. They've had travel issues. They wanted a direct flight. They missed their flight. Now they have to take 3 different flights to get to Hawaii. Like, it's not already freaking hard enough. You're going from Delaware to Hawaii. They're on 3 different flights. They were supposed to get there yesterday. They don't get there. They should be getting there now. It said afternoon. So I'm assuming, and they may not even be there yet. I don't know. Maybe you guys know if they're there. But my goodness gracious, the last thing you need is travel issues when you're the big underdog to begin with. Big Mama says 73-3. I don't know. It's going to be something ridiculous. I'm actually surprised this line's under 40. I thought for sure it would be over 40 points, and it's not. 38.5. Take the frickin' rainbows all day, every day. I'm taking all the favorites, but I can't not.
Hey, kudos to Delaware State signing up for be a sacrificial lamb and get a free
making
trip
some
to
money
Hawaii.
too. Yeah.
Paid for a trip to Hawaii. Their guys get to have some fun if they ever get there. Kudos to them, and I agree with all your points.
Yeah, so those are our picks.